January 10th, 2010. On this day, a YouTube video titled BFDI-1A Take the Plunge was uploaded onto YouTube. It was created by two 12-year-old brothers who ran a channel called Jack and Jellify. Little did they know, this simple video would change the internet forever. So, object shows. They exist. Object shows, you know what these are. I'm not gonna explain this to you. If you clicked on this video, you know what object shows are. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of people watching my channel will probably know that I used to be very interested in object shows and actually make videos on object shows pretty frequently. Like, a good amount of, I have like a few videos on object shows. But I think recently I have kind of just lost interest in them for a few reasons. And I'm going to talk about those today. By the way, this is probably going to be my final object show video unless there's something else I just feel like making. So yeah, let's get into object shows. I think the problem with modern day object shows is that people don't know how to make something new or unique. Object shows there are object shows out there like One or Love of the Sun or something like that do like things that are very, very unique and interesting. But with One, it kind of started this trend where people would try to make shows like One, and it would end up that One, a show that was trying to be like, you know, make a unique show, make your own show. That was kind of the message. People ended up kind of just making clones of that show instead of making their own show, which was quite literally the message of the show. This makes no sense. My brain is genuinely in pain right now. Speaking of HFJ1 clones, we have to talk about those. Kind of. I think that modern day object shows, or like how object shows are nowadays, can be split into two separate categories. The lure shows, or HFJ1 clones, I guess you can call them. And there's the joke shows. The thing about joke shows that I always found kind of funny, or did I just say always that I now find kind of funny, is that modern day joke shows are making fun of the average object show, right? Similar to Object Show 87. But back when Object Show 87 was around, what Object Show 87 was making fun of was, you know, actually what the average object show was. Now the average object show basically is a joke show. So the average object show nowadays basically just is a show making fun of the average object show. Like, joke shows aren't like half of this. There's basically just two types of object shows that take up most of like the community now and shows and all that, which is again the lore shows and the joke shows. But there's more joke shows than the lore shows. So again, joke shows are usually making fun of the average object show, or like what the average object show would look like, or does look like at the time. But what the average object show looks like now is a show making fun of the average object show. This is like the most confusing thing. This is one of the most confusing things to come out of this community. I don't understand this. This makes no sense to me. Genuinely. Now that we've gotten kind of a second to like discuss what object shows are, just like as a concept, I kind of want to take a second to criticize the modern state of object shows and just kind of criticize object shows in general and explain what's kind of made me lose interest in them, and also what me losing interest in object shows means for the future of my career and all that. So let's get straight into it. I want to start off by saying, as I've said earlier, object shows never try to go out of their way to do anything different. Most object shows that are good, other than like one and Love of the Sun and The Nightly Manor, are shows that are like good, that aren't those shows, are good for object show standards. Not like these shows. The thought process is just, I want to make a good object show, and not, I want to make a good show. Which kind of makes the overall quality suffer, because for an object show it's good, but as a piece of media, it's not good, because it's just the same template of wacky host comes along, has contestants compete in a game show for a prize. Nothing has ever really changed. Like, more object shows need to just go out of their way to try to change this. And I know this may seem a bit hypocritical considering I complained about HFJ1 clones earlier and like lure shows, but I need a show that actually doesn't even need to change it that much. It just needs to change it enough to where it feels like a good show. Like, it needs to subvert your expectations and stuff. The key to making a good object show is just, instead of thinking about how you want to make it a good object show, you gotta think about how you want it to make it a good show. That's why shows like, One and Love of the Sun are so good and so legendary, because those didn't want to be good for object show standards. They wanted to be good for just like indie show standards, and as a piece of media they're good, which is what makes them good. There's a show that I think does it's not a joke show, not really a lore show, but still like object show kind of style, but still ends up being good as a show. Like, it does that kind of thing really good, which is The Average Object Show by Plushmush. I might have a little bias because Plushmush is one of my best friends, but it's like 2% bias. It is extremely good because Plushmush hasn't really watched a lot of object shows, so he doesn't want to make it good for object show standards, because he hasn't watched enough object shows other than BFDI to know what object show, the standards for object shows really are. So he tries to make it a good piece of media, a good indie cartoon, and not, just good for an object show. And I think that is kind of the key to just making any good object show. It can genuinely make some of the best object shows, and it has made some of the best object shows. But people just don't do it. If you want to make a good object show, try to make it a good piece of media. Try to make it a good indie cartoon. No, don't make the thought process, I want this to be good as an object show, or I want this to be good for object show standards. Think about, I want this to be good as an indie cartoon. I want this to be good as a piece of media, which is what all object shows should do. But people just refuse to do it and continue to make the same show and copy and paste the same template over and over and over, to where watching any new object show is genuinely just painful. Yeah, I feel like the object show community is definitely one of the laziest communities I've ever been in, because when, like, for example, when people complain about things, they don't give a solution. They just complain about how bad a show is, or complain about something about the show, or like, they never provide a solution, they just complain. And there's also the fact that, they refuse to make anything original. They refuse to make anything new. Like, it's been like this for so long, where in my entire time living in, did I just say living? I can't talk. Being in this community, I haven't seen, like, one new show come out that genuinely just was on near the same quality level as some of the best object shows, or was at least good as a piece of media or as an indie cartoon and not just an object show. Like, people are, like, dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. If you're complaining about object shows, just make your own object show. That's what you want to see in an object show. But no, people just complain. I'm not saying you have to make your own object show, but I am also saying that if you're just going to constantly complain, then you might want to actually, provide a solution to what you're complaining about, Just a tiny thought I've had recently. And if you call me hypocritical because I'm not providing a solution, probably later on in the video, I'm just going to try to provide an overall solution to what I think can make this community better. So, stick around for that. Please. This video is torturing me to make. This is the first time I've ever made a video essay, or just like a commentary style video, on my PC. And I've had to download so many things. And my mic quality sucks, and it's extremely loud and sounds bass boosted. So, if there's any part of this video where I actually want to be taken seriously, no one will take me seriously because my mic sounds like this. So please like and subscribe and watch the video. Please. If you don't do it, Galaxy VR will probably break into your house. He would probably say something like, I will break into your house. Break your window. Break all the windows in your house. Shut off your electricity. And eat all of your food. And something like that. He would say something like that. Anyway, moving on to the next section. This is kind of similar to the last section, but I thought I kind of just wanted to kind of take a bit of time to talk about this in particular, which is BFDI, the first ever object show. Of course, it's a video about object shows and the object show community and all that. I gotta mention BFDI, or at least have a small cameo mention, or part mentioning BFDI, but no, we're just doing an entire section talking about the kind of modern state of BFDI. I genuinely think that BFDI has not been good since Pre-Split. BFB Pre-Split was the last, part of BFDI that I genuinely enjoyed a lot. It's the most recent season, I guess I could say. Newer BFDI episodes are probably the newer stuff I've enjoyed the most. But, I'm not subscribed to Jack and Jellyfy anymore. I probably won't watch BFDI anymore. I might continue watching it eventually, I don't know. But, post-split, a lot of people, I've seen a few people say that, post-split wasn't actually wasn't as bad as we thought it was, but, I don't agree with that. I thought post-split was, I still think post-split is just absolutely abysmal garbage, and I think it just sucks. And honestly, Teapot is also kind of overrated. I just don't like Teapot. There's a lot of writing issues that I could point out, and especially with the newest episode, Teapot 21. Well, I could point out the issues with the newest episode, Teapot 21, but instead, I'm gonna have Plushmush do it, because we watch Teapot 21 together, and he has to be in every video I make, for some reason. I think. Is that an unwritten rule? Yeah, it is. Anyway, Plushmush, give me your thoughts on Teapot 21.
Teapot 21 was pretty mid. Teapot 21 felt like the majority of it was just filler. Just full on filler. Like nothing, like barely anything happens. In that, like, a majority of the episode is just things happen. Challenge barely exists. That's what it felt like.
Anyway, I think Plushmosh said, he said a good amount about the episode, but he missed, like, a lot of criticisms I personally have about the episode. I'm not gonna, like, list everything, because there is genuinely so much wrong with this episode. At first, before this episode, Teapot was like a D tier season. Now it's like a Z tier season. There is no coming back from this episode. There was no redemption that like this season could possibly have after an episode this bad. This episode was almost unwatchable. Most of the time I was watching this episode, I was just excited for it to hurry up and end. Like, in general, also, there's like the theater screenings. I get they need the money to support the show, but they were already making so much money off of merch and the ads and like the video views alone. I feel like after Teapot 21, I really hope they stop doing theater screenings. Honestly, after Teapot 20, they should have stopped. Teapot 20 is like that one Christmas gift you get that you didn't ask for, but you don't mind having it. You don't love it. You don't like it. It's okay. But, like, you don't mind having it. You know? Like that. That's what Teapot 20 felt like. It was a good episode. But it didn't, like, really need to be as long as it was. Like, everything that happened in this episode didn't even need to be a full episode. It could have been, like, easily squeezed into a different episode. And then Teapot 20 could have been, like, Teapot 20 and Teapot 21, what they actually are, put together. Just shortened down. That genuinely would have made it a lot better, and for the people who actually enjoy this season, it would have been made the wait a lot shorter. Like, I just genuinely feel like this would have been better. I don't want to complain about this specific topic too much, but I just felt like all of this was just kind of worth mentioning, considering it's the first Object show, so I needed to do a segment on it, and you know that. And, like, I wanted to do some sort of segment on it, and this was kind of the only idea I had for a segment on it. So, yeah, we're moving on to the next section. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm just giving you a warning. Galaxy VR will be making an appearance in the next section. Now, this is probably going to be the second to last section, or maybe third to last, depending on if, like, halfway through recording this, I just have, like, a new idea for a section that I really want to do. We have to talk about, like, I just want to express my general thoughts on object shows now. I don't necessarily hate object shows. There's a lot of object shows I do hate. Reckless Retreat. Sorry, I coughed. But there are also some object shows that I genuinely think I really enjoy to this day, like Love of the Sun and The Nightly Manor. Also, I just want to mention that for the future of this channel, I know I said in the intro I would talk about this, literally nothing is going to change. I just won't make, like, this is going to be the final object show video I want to make, unless there is something I really want to talk about. Like, I just feel like this should be the last one, because, you know, I'm not interested in object shows anymore. There are other things I want to make videos about. But I am still thankful that object shows exist, because I wouldn't even, like, want to make animations and stuff if object shows didn't exist. And I'm very thankful for that, because I would really like to grow up to become an animator. Anyway, this isn't like important to anything, but I have no clue how I'm gonna include Galaxy in this video. So, Galaxy is just gonna specify his thoughts on object shows. Galaxy, take it away.
So, hi. So, my opinion on object shows, they're kind of in the middle. Like, sometimes they can be good, sometimes they can be bad. But I genuinely did not like Teapot 21 at all. I didn't really like how much filler was inside of it. There's like a part where we don't need, a second part that we kind of do need, but there's like 40 flashbacks in like the first 3 minutes. Which might not even be true now that I think of it. It's like, how do I describe this? It's good, but sometimes it just is worse. Genuinely, I'd watch like a fan show or something. If it's interesting and it actually has a good plot, then that's what makes an object show kind of good. And when I say kinda, it's a keyword, kinda. So, yes, this was a very short section that I yapped about because I don't want to yap for the next 1 minute and 16 seconds. I'm going to explode. 99-3D, take it away before I Swiss cheese you.
Anyway, Galaxy, thanks for being in the video. Now let's move on to probably the last section, most likely. Yeah, probably. So, here we are, the last section of the video. Earlier I said that I wasn't going to be a hypocrite and say that everyone complains about things and doesn't provide a solution. And I'm gonna, after complaining about all this about object shows, I'm gonna provide a solution. I think the solution to making better object shows, I kind of just already said this, but it's just try to put more thought than just making it your object show good for object show standards. And as I said, try to make it good as an indie cartoon. Try to make it good as a piece of media. Not try to make it good as an object show. It can be a good object show, but you want to think more about just the standards for indie cartoons in general and try to make it good for, the standards for indie cartoons. That's kind of the key to making a good object show. Or just like being someone who's made a really good object show. I don't know. And the thing about BFDI is that I don't think there really is a solution. No matter how bad it gets, people are still going to watch it anyway. And, I don't think I want there to be a solution. I want them to, even though I really don't want them to keep making bad episodes. I want them to make, really good episodes. But at least the bad episodes are, fun to watch. They're not as, sometimes, not with, Teapot 21 or, any BFB post-split episode, but with, some of the bad episodes, it's just so bad that it's funny. And I feel like, even if I do provide a solution, it genuinely will not help, because there's no way I can get in contact with Jack and Jellyfy themselves, or Jack and Jellyfy, or anyone working on BFDI. There's no chance they see this video. That will not happen, and if it does, then I am going to probably do a front flip. So yeah, that's my solution. I have had a lot of fun making this video, I'm gonna be honest. There's a few parts about, being in the object show community I'll miss, being able to make stupid parodies. Even if they aren't, good shows or anything, making my object shows that I made, which aren't public anymore, none of the episodes are set to public anymore, making those was still fun, even if they weren't good. I'm gonna miss, doing stuff like that. There's also just the fact that, I don't know. I just feel like there's no other, making an object show video essay, there's no feeling quite like it, because they're trying to make it serious. Video essays are usually meant to be more serious most of the time, usually, like half the time. And you're trying to make something serious out of, like, shows where sentient objects, compete in game shows. Like, that's a really dumb thing to try to make serious, and it's kind of fun trying to make it serious. It's also, like, extremely funny trying to make something as stupid as literal object shows serious. Like, I know I just said this, but this is object shows we're talking about. The most serious, like, things to come out of object shows are, like, the Nightly Manor in 1. That's basically it. That literally is it. That's, like, no other shows can be as serious as these were, or basically be serious, I guess, enough as some other things are, yeah. This has been a fun journey. I've liked making this video. This is the first video I ever made fully on my PC, and it's been extremely hard figuring out. This is also the first video, kind of the video that isn't like a gaming video that I've done with my mic. Do you like the quality of it? It sounds absolutely amazing, I know. One last thing I want to say that I just this is just a quote I thought of, and I thought I had aura, so I have to include it now. If you don't know, a while ago, this channel had the handle 993D OSC. OSC is short for Object Show Community, which is kind of obvious because you're probably in that community or were in that community at some point if you're, like, watching this video. Yeah, usually a lot of, like, object show YouTubers and creators would call their channels or, like, have their handle or something as something OSC to represent, kind of say that, hey, I mainly make videos about object shows. I mainly make videos, like, I'm in the object show community. Now, since then, for a while ago, I changed my handle to 993D Epic. I'm 993D Epic. I'm 993D. And I was 993D OSC at some point. I'm never gonna be 993D OSC again. From now on, I'll just always be doing, instead of just doing stuff mainly centered around object shows, I'm gonna do literally whatever, but mostly gaming content, because I like doing that. That's fun. Yeah, I'm not 993D OSC anymore. I may not be 993D OSC. I will never be 993D OSC again. But I'll always be 993D. Thank you for watching.
Transdermal